Hello students and welcome in the online session of class 9 science chapter 13 Why do we fall ill? This is the fourth video of the lesson. Let us see which topics will be covered today. So today we'll do the bacterial diseases. Among them the first one is diarrhea, typhoid, tuberculosis, and then we have to study one of the protozoan disease, that is malaria. So let us start with the bacterial diseases. And the first disease which we have to study is diarrhea. You have to learn the spelling of diarrhea as well. It is DIARRHOEA. So this disease diarrhea, it includes intestinal infections and food poisoning. Okay, so in this disease there is infection in the intestine part. It can be small intestine or it can be large intestine along with food poisoning. And the causative agent, the pathogen which causes this disease, is bacteria. And the species of bacteria which can cause diarrhea are Staphylococcus, then Clostridium, and E. coli, etc. Means many of the species of bacteria can cause a diarrhea. So you have to learn at least 2 3 names of these bacteria. So E. coli and Staphylococcus and Clostridium are the most common species which cause diarrhea. Now let us discuss the mode of transmission, how this disease spreads. So it spreads through the contaminated food, water, drinks, etc. Okay, so consuming contaminated food and water is the main reason for diarrhea disease. Then occasional contamination through fingers, clothes, utensils, bed sheets, etc. Means if we use contaminated, if we put contaminated fingers in the mouth, okay, if the fingers are not well cleaned, then clothes which are not well cleaned, utensils, bed sheets, so these things if are used in the contaminated form, then it can also cause diarrhea. Then let us see the symptoms. So the first symptom is loose motions. Okay, this is the first because it is intestinal infection and food poisoning. So the first symptom is loose motion. Then diminished appetite, loss of appetite also. Okay, the person doesn't feel well. Then abdominal cramps. Okay, pain in the stomach area, abdominal area. Then vomiting. Dehydration means loss of water from the body because more the loose motions, more will be the loss of water from the body. Then sunken eyes. Okay, eyes go little inside, means a weakness, the person will feel weakness and the eyes will look like they are sunken inside. Then a sudden loss of weight and fever. Okay, so these are some of the symptoms of this disease. In the picture also you can see the symptoms of fever, vomiting, dehydration, and cramping, abdominal pains here. Okay, and bloating. Okay, means once the pain starts and stops, again it starts and stops. So this is bloating pain. Then let us discuss the control, how the disease can be controlled. So it can only be controlled by the use of antibiotics. If the diarrhea occurs, then the patient has to be given antibiotics so that the infection causing pathogens, bacteria can be killed on the spot. Then if the loose motions are more, then saline drips can also be given. Drips can be given in the hospitals and at home. ORS solutions. Okay, the full form of ORS is oral rehydration solution. So this is the Nimbu Pani version. Okay, lemon water version it is, and it recollects the ions in the body. Okay, it recollects the salt and sugar content in the body. So ORS solutions can be given, and if the loose motions are more and if the cramps in the abdomen are more, then isabgol can also be given with curd. Fine, isabgol is the husk of some of the seeds. Husk means the outer cover, so it is in fibrous form. It is the outer husk, outer cover of some of the seeds, and it should be mixed with the curd and given to the patient. Isabgol, you can ask your parents if you have at your home, so you can just check for isabgol. Then how it can be prevented. So prevention means before the disease what precautions can be taken. So underground sewer lines, okay, proper sanitation, proper hygiene. The sewer lines should be underground, they should not be open and uncovered. Then proper covering of the eatables. All the food and water which has to be consumed should always be kept covered. Then use of disinfectant water. Okay, safe drinking water has to be used and proper hygiene has to be maintained. So these are the prevention points. Let us see some more prevention points. So first, exclusive breastfeeding. In case of very small children, the small children should not be given outside food. Okay, so the very small children should be exclusively on breastfeeding of the mother, so that can protect them from the diarrhea. Then bottle feeding should be avoided. So in case of very small children, those who cannot eat, so bottle feeding should not be avoided, because bottle is the reason from where the germs can enter inside the body of the baby. So the baby should be feeded with, a spoon and bowl. With the spoon we can put the milk in the mouth of the child. So bottle feeding should be stopped. Then wash the hands regularly before and after every meal, and then eat clean food, drink clean water. Then prevention is immunization. Okay, vaccination, proper vaccination should be given. Then vitamin A consumption should be more, and proper nutrition and balanced diet can prevent diarrhea. Okay, so this is all about the bacterial disease diarrhea. Now let's move on to the next bacterial disease, which is typhoid. You all know that typhoid is a type of fever. Okay, so it is caused due to bacteria Salmonella typhi. The causative agent's name you have to learn. So here the causative agent is bacteria and the name is Salmonella typhi. Mode of transmission is contaminated food and water. Then houseflies carry the germs, and these germs enter through the mouth and reach the intestine where they multiply. Okay, so here also the reason is contaminated food and water. So we generally, what we do, if the food is kept open in the kitchen, then houseflies can sit on it and can pass on the germs to that food and water. And if such contaminated food and water is consumed, then the bacteria reaches the intestine and multiply there and causes this fever. So here the symptoms are headache, high fever, abdominal pain, then inflammation in liver, okay, burning sensations in liver, then the patient feels weakness and rashes on the chest. Okay, so here you can see this is the bacteria Salmonella typhi. So it looks like little, oval shaped, long shaped bacteria it is. And during this, one of the symptom is also white covering on the tongue. The tongue also looks white, okay, in case of typhoid. So this is also one of the symptom. And then rashes on the chest area, abdominal area. And the bacteria reaches the intestine and damage the cells of the intestine as well. Okay, so let's move on to the control. So it can only be controlled by using antibiotics. Fine. Then prevention is proper sanitation. Proper sanitation, proper hygiene is a must in each and every kind of disease. That's one of the best prevention for every disease. Then use of disinfected or boiled water. Okay, safe drinking water is must. Then underground sewers. Okay, sewage lines should be properly underground and covered. And use of typhoid vaccines. Fine. Vaccination, proper typhoid vaccination is a must. Then some more here in the diagram also you can see, wash your hands, drink boiled water, clean the fruits and vegetables before eating, and get vaccinated. So these are the prevention points for typhoid disease. Now let's move on to the next bacterial disease, that is tuberculosis. In short it is called TB. You remember it's B not V. So tuberculosis. Okay, so it is the one of the type of lung infection. So causative agent is again bacteria, as it is a bacterial disease, and the name of the bacteria is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This is the complete name of the bacteria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Okay. Then let's discuss the mode of transmission. So, through the tiny droplets of sputum sprayed by infected person by sneezing, coughing or spitting. If any, here in the diagram also you can see, if any infected person sneezes, coughs or spits, then a lot of tiny water droplets come out through the nose and mouth as well. Okay, so if, and with these tiny droplets many of the bacteria come out, And if such type of air is inhaled by a healthy person, then the germs enter the body of the healthy person also. So this is the healthy person here, and this is the infected person. So you can see that the infected person is coughing or sneezing. Many of the germs come out with the tiny droplets. Okay, in the tiny droplets which comes out from the nose and the mouth. So those tiny droplets of water contain many hundreds of the germs, and if such type of air is inhaled by a healthy person, the healthy person also gets infected. Then the symptoms are fever and cough. Okay, blood containing sputum. Okay, when the person coughs, blood also comes out through the mouth. That is one of the major symptom of tuberculosis. Blood comes out with the cough. Then pain in the chest because it's a lung infection. Here you can see this part has become whitish. So this is TB infection in the lungs of the person. Then loss of weight also. Okay, loss of weight. Then next, the control is antibiotics given on proper time, then proper diet is needed, and proper rest is also required. Okay, in prevention, again, first point is sanitation, then good proper balanced diet to the patient, immunization, that is vaccination, and isolation of the TB patients. Okay, if the patient has got TB because it's an infectious disease, so the TB patient has to be kept isolated. His or her clothes, bed sheets, cover pillows, comb, towels, utensils, everything should be kept separate. If the thing used by a patient is used by a healthy person, then the healthy person also gets the infection. Okay, so in the picture, some of the preventive measures are also shown. You can see in the first one, vaccination is done. Okay, then early diagnosis on time only the diagnosis to be taken. Because if after many months if you go for the checkup, then the infection may get worsen and it can cause death of the patient also. So early diagnosis of the disease is a must. Then here lead a happy life, take adequate rest. Okay, early contact and examination. So proper testing of the family test should be done after every 6 months. Then balanced diet to be taken, fresh air. Okay, take fresh air always, and do adequate exercise and good personal hygiene, maintain good personal hygiene. So these are some of the preventive measures to fight with the tuberculosis disease. Now, next is malaria. Now, malaria is a protozoan disease. Okay, this disease is caused by a protozoa. Okay, protozoa is the group of animals to which amoeba belongs. Okay, so causative agent is the parasite Plasmodium. Plasmodium is single-celled organism, and it's a parasite because it lives either inside the body of the animal or on the body of the animal. Okay, so it can be present outside the body of the animal or inside the body. Okay, you know what are parasites. Parasites take nutrition from the host body but do not kill them. Okay, so it's a parasite. Plasmodium is the actual protozoa which causes malaria. So let us see what is the mode of transmission. So, carrier of Plasmodium is Anopheles, a female mosquito. Okay, so this female Anopheles mosquito has Plasmodium present in him. Now, suppose there is an infected person and this Anopheles female mosquito bites an infected person. Okay, so when a mosquito bites, then what happens? The saliva of the mosquito and the blood of the patient gets mixed. Okay, and the germ and the plasmodium which is present in the infected person enters the female anopheles mosquito, and when this mosquito bites an infected person, so it comes in the saliva of the mosquito. Okay, so the germ which was present in the infected person comes in the saliva or mouth of the Anopheles mosquito. Now this parasite moves to the salivary gland of mosquito. Now once it enters the body of the mosquito, then what happens? It enters the salivary gland of the mosquito. And you know that salivary gland secreted saliva, the liquid which is present in the mouth. Now when this mosquito bites an healthy person, then what will happen? So it introduced the saliva containing parasite in the blood of the healthy person. Now when again this mosquito will cut or bite to another person, then again the saliva of the mosquito and the blood of the person will get mixed, and through the saliva of this mosquito the plasmodium parasite enters the body of the healthy person also. Okay, so this uh, anopheles female mosquito is the carrier of the disease, means it is carrying the germs of malaria. Okay, so you must have to remember that malaria is caused due to Plasmodium parasite, but who is the carrier? Anopheles female mosquito, not male one. Female Anopheles mosquito is the carrier of this Plasmodium parasite. Now let us discuss what are the symptoms. So yawning, first of all yawning, feeling tiredness, then headache, then pain in the muscles, vomiting. These are some of the symptoms of malaria disease. Okay, and you all know in case of malaria there is fever with chills. Okay, very high fever with chills. So here in the diagram also you can see the symptoms: fever, headache, shaking of the body, then fatigueness, tiredness, then pain in the joints, then vomiting, okay, chills, and nausea, then muscle pain, then diarrhea. So these are some of the symptoms of malaria. Fine. Here in the picture you can see Anopheles female mosquito also. Now let's see one of the chart how the malaria spreads. Okay, so you can see here that this is the first infected person, right? This is the first infected person. So this person is infected. Now the mosquito cuts the or bites the infected person. Okay, so now this mosquito gets the carrier. So this the germ which is present in the first infected person then enter the mosquito. Okay, so it goes into the salivary gland of the mosquito. Fine. And the infected person has also an infected liver, as well as the blood also gets infected. Fine. So when this mosquito will bite the infected person, the saliva of the mosquito has the plasmodium. Now when this mosquito bites the another person, so the another healthy person also gets infected with the plasmodium parasite. Fine, so the cycle goes on. Okay, so from where it started, that the mosquito has a bite on the body of the infected person. So the plasmodium reaches to the salivary glands of the mosquito. Then the mosquito bites some healthy person, and so the plasmodium enters the body of the healthy person also. So in this way, this plasmodium parasite which causes malaria spreads from one infected person to the healthy person. Okay. Now let's see how it can be controlled. So for this anti-malarial drugs have to be given. Okay, and one of the best known anti-malarial drug is quinine. Okay, quinine, and this quinine is extracted from the bark of cinchona tree. Okay, cinchona tree, its bark, okay, the outer dead cells of this tree bark which is called, so that bark is used to extract quinine from it, and that quinine is given to the patient. So it's an anti-malarial drug. Then prevention is use of insect repellents. Fine, everyone should use the insect repellents, like Odomos creams are there. Okay, and good night roll-ons are there. So these are all insect repellents which keep the mosquitoes away from the body. Then proper wire gauzy of the doors, windows, and ventilators. Okay, so on the doors, on the windows, and on the ventilators, proper wire gauzing should be there. Okay, there should be doors having wires, so then fresh air can come inside but not the insects. Then periodic spray of insecticides. Okay, in our surrounding areas there should be time to time spray of insecticides so the insects can be killed. Then introducing larvorious fishes in water bodies. If there is some pond nearby, or there is some tank nearby, or there is some area where the coolers of the houses, we keep the coolers, so the water which is filled in the cooler is the main place from where the mosquitoes breed. So introducing larvorious fishes, means these are very small fishes which feed on the larva of the mosquitoes. So these fishes eat the small babies of the mosquitoes. So introducing, if there is any water body nearby, so in that larvaceous fishes should be introduced, so that these fishes will feed on the mosquito larvae and will finish them. Okay, so then also the malaria can be prevented. So in the diagram also you can see that prevention is better than cure. And here in the first diagram you can see that whole family should sleep under inside a mosquito net, so that will keep the mosquitoes away. Then here you can see proper use of repellents, insect repellents can be used, such type of creams which keep the insects away. Okay, and a proper spray which can also kill the mosquitoes. Okay, like you have that black hit which is for mosquitoes, right? So many ads you can see in the TV also. Black hit is generally for killing the mosquitoes, so that can be used and sprayed in the corners of the houses. So that is all about the diseases which we have studied today. So we have studied three bacterial diseases: diarrhea, typhoid, and tuberculosis, and one of the protozoan disease, that is malaria. So here we finish with the chapter, and notes and solutions will be provided to you. I hope notes you can write from the presentation slide link which is given daily to you, and solutions then I'll send you. Do read the chapter from your textbook and complete your notebooks as well. Okay, so stay home and stay safe everyone.